Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is a continuation of my series, which is decorating the insert for this leather Aussie TN that I've been making for Auntie Vera's Scrap and Craft, the November kit for 2018. Can't you hear the thunder? We are celebrating everything Australia this November, and xxAmira really did a good job with this open road collection, and I feel totally inspired, and I'm trying to think of everything that is Australia to document and to remember and to share with my overseas friends and followers. So for this specific layout, what I wanted to do is simulate kind of like the Aussie terrain. I'm starting off with some watercolor, and I love this color here, which is the yellow oxide. And so I grabbed my flat paintbrush and I've added a thick layer to the bottom, and basically I'm going left and right, and I am sort of making an ombre, so it's heavier at the bottom and lighter at the top, and even at the very top there I keep going even though I'm running out of color, and I just wanted to achieve kind of like that painterly weathered look. Now the next thing I'm doing is I'm grabbing this stencil by Tim Holtz, and I think it's called Mosaic. This, or it could be cobblestone, I'm not sure. This reminds me of the stones in Europe. I went to Italy a couple of times, and always without fail, those cobblestone sidewalks are a magnificent thing of the past, and we don't make our sidewalks like that anymore. So I definitely love this kind of sidewalk. I grew up with it in Cyprus and in Athens, and it popped up that memory as soon as I went back to Italy. Not that we have that in Australia, but I just love the imagery that it evokes of a sidewalk and a pavement and an ancient sort of way of doing things, which is definitely what we have here in Australia. We have a lot of architecture and culture and way of doing things from the old times, and people here are hesitant to move into the future and do things new way. It's really nice to live in an age where you know that this is how they've been doing things for quite a while. Of course, a lot of the teenagers think that that's backward and we need to get with the times, but I actually love how laid back and how quiet it is here. When family come to visit, or when we have visitors, they say, wow, it reminds me of, my city, like how it was 50 years ago. And that's not a bad thing. That's fine. We'll catch up. I'm sure we will. I hope it takes a while to get there, because I'm really enjoying the way that things used to be done in the old days. So after I've added that, and by the way, I'm not sure if I mentioned I added that with texture paste. After I've added that, I've dried it, and then I'm going ahead and I'm realigning the stencil back to where it was, and then I'm going in with some brown. This is a Koi Sakura watercolor pack. They don't have colors on there. I've often told myself that I should check their website to see if they have a color palette on there so that I know what I'm using. But anyway, this is the brown next to the yellow oxide, and then I'm using the dark brown that's next to that. So I'm kind of doing a combination of a lighter brown and a darker brown, like a burnt umber and a raw sienna kind of thing. This is what I'm guessing. I'm not sure if that's really what they are, but those are the three colors that I've kind of called those three. So I've got a yellow oxide, a raw sienna, and a burnt umber. That's what I'm using anyway. So I'm basically dry brushing on top of the cobblestones in the middle there, and trying to get a really lovely variation in colors on the path there that I've created with the texture paste. So that way, when I reveal it, it looks like that brown has taken up on the cobblestones and not on the yellow oxide, which is supposed to reflect the earth or the sand underneath. So now I'm reaching for some element to see what I'm going to add to this layout. So I'm thinking the Aussie road, kind of like red dust, pathway, kind of not sure where I'm going here. I know what I want, but I can't see it just yet. I reach for this stamp in the stamp set that says, of all the paths you take in life, make sure that some of them are dirt. And I think this stamp set was what originally encouraged me to make a layout all about the path and off the beaten path. So then I remembered that one of the papers in the November kit was just a track of dirt, and I thought, you know what, that's perfect. I want to add that on this left hand side. So I go ahead and I cut that out and I attach it to that left hand side there, and I love how that looks. Now next to the background that I created on the right hand side, I wasn't too happy with the colors there. It just seemed like a way off, so I am going to go back and correct those colors on the right hand side. But what I'm doing now is I thought I wasn't brave enough to stamp straight onto that paper, so I stamped onto a little piece of vellum, stuffed up on the first one because I think I pressed too hard. So I tried again. I left this in to show you that yes, I do stuff up as well. So stuffing up is not, it doesn't mean anything. You can just try again. So what I wanted to do also is just add a little bit of torn paper underneath to make it look like the sentiment was obvious. I was afraid that it was going to get lost in that paper. So now I'm going to move all the elements off, and I'm going to go back and try to match up the colors on the right hand side with the colors on the left hand side. And definitely I do need a lot more brown, and I do definitely need a lot more red as well. So I'm going to go ahead now and add some more color to the right hand side here. I did think of adding some of these sentiments from the branding strips, but I realized that the sentiment on the left hand side was enough, and if I was to start adding more sentiments, it would just take away from the impact of the statement of making sure that your paths are dirt sometimes. I'm about to add this kind of like badge that says road trip and a kangaroo and eucalyptus leaves. I totally enjoyed making this. This is more of where I want to be going at this stage of my art. I want to be able to create my backgrounds and create my papers. I want to steer clear of buying all the gorgeous papers, and I just want to start making my own gorgeous papers, if you understand what I mean. As soon as I saw these papers in the unboxing, I thought to myself, I want to try to make a layout that looks like dirt. I want to try making a layout that looks like bark. I want to try making a layout that looks like Aussie brick. It's just something that I've always wanted to do, and I'm going to start doing it in this Aussie TN. I just think that it's going to take a little bit of time. So this page is probably the last page that I'm doing for the creative team design for xxAmira, but definitely not one of the last ones that I'm going to be doing in this TN. This insert is going to be all about Australia and everything that inspires me about Australia and the quirky things of Australia, and I just love how I started this, and I'm looking forward to spending some time really thinking about what it is that I love about Australia and how it inspires me. So yeah, so this is going to be the last layout for me for this series. Thank you so much for joining me, you guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've gotten a giggle from my point of view of the things that we experience here in Australia. Definitely come and visit. We love having everybody from all over the world. You guys are welcome. Let me know when you're in my hometown. I'd love to catch up. It'd be such a hoot. And have a great day wherever you are in the world. And I'll see you in my next video.